Meet Florida State Senator Travis Hudson. Senator Hudson represents Florida's 6th District, which includes St. Johns, Flagler, Putnam, and Volusia counties. Since I live in St. Johns County, Senator Hudson is my representative in the Florida Senate. At the time of the publishing of this video, we are just weeks away from the elections. So, in order to help me make a more informed vote, I wanted to see who my senator is meeting with leading up to the election. So I visited Senator Hudson's Palm Coast office during normal business operating hours and submitted a public records request to inspect his appointment calendar. Hey, I'm just here to make a public records request.
Okay.
This is Travis Hudson's office?
Yeah, come
Okay, cool, thanks.
in.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Let me get something for you,
Okay,
just so you have it.
okay. And your name is Danielle Curbo?
Yeah.
That's how you say it? You're the executive secretary. Do you have access to the senator's calendars? His appointment calendars?
For legislative,
Yeah, like whoever he's meeting with and things like that, where you have access to it?
for
I mean,
legislation.
If you could just access his August calendar and just let me have access to it, photograph, inspect it, and that's all I'm asking for. I mean, I don't see why I would have to go through email.
I mean, they told me that I have to have you go through this email request.
Okay, but an email request would mean that it would have to be in writing. Section 119.07, Parent 1, Parent A, Florida statutes, establishes a right of access to public records in plain and unequivocal terms. Every person who has custody of a public record shall permit the record to be inspected and copied by any person desiring to do so at any reasonable time, under reasonable conditions, and under supervision by the custodian of the public record. An agency may not require that a public records request be made in writing. Danielle Curbo is clearly a very nice person. It is also very clear that through no fault of her own, Danielle is clueless when it comes to handling public records requests. It seems Senator Hudson has made no effort to train his executive secretary on even the very basics of public records law. So, in an effort to resolve the obvious public records violations, I asked Danielle to contact a supervisor.
So you wanted to make a public records request, correct?
Yes, sir. What I'm doing is I'm making a public records request to inspect and photograph Senator Hudson's appointment calendar for the month of August.
Make the request through email.
Make it through email. I thought I could come into the office and make it in person, verbally. She confirmed that she had access to the records, so I just thought.
Probably the simplest, easiest way to do it would be through email off of the flsenate.gov website. You can send it in through mail to the secretary's office. Those are the avenues through which to get a public records request. You have to send it up to Tallahassee.
Okay, so it's got to be by email or snail mail to Tallahassee?
Yes.
The impermissible withholding of documents otherwise required to be disclosed constitutes in and of itself irreparable injury to the person making the public records request. Since the purpose of Chapter 119 is to afford disclosure of information without delay to any member of the public making a request, non-disclosure prevents access to the information and is injury not ordinarily compensable in damages. Requiring a person to make a public records request in writing is a clear violation of the law. Furthermore, requiring a person to make a request in writing through Tallahassee when the records are readily available in Palm Coast constitutes an automatic delay. In a further attempt to resolve this issue, I called the Florida Senate Office of the Secretary.
Well, the reason I'm calling is because I'm concerned. I made a public record request to the Senator Hudson's office in Palm Coast. And I did an in-person public records request to inspect and photograph his August calendar from 2016. And I was instructed by both Danielle Curbo, who's the executive secretary, and Will Hosford, that the request had to be made in writing. It's my understanding of Florida's public records law that public records requests cannot be required to be made in writing. Can you just do us a favor and call a supervisor, or call somebody that would be able to help you out with this issue?
So she directed you to the office of secretary, and you probably talked to Will, who essentially has the same job that I have. We're just on different days. And I just talked to someone as well about this, and it sounds like the information that he gave you was correct. People want it in writing, so either via email or via snail mail.